Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfella of Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out.
All right, man. Quick video, probably won't be real quick though, but hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Check out the Boxer Rumor playlist for more videos like that. Apparently, I've been told that Devin Haney and Gary Russell has reached a deal. It's done. Now, I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing, not saying that is what's going on. But before we talk about that, Devin Haney also, and I put this tweet on the screen, he said that I send the 1.5. Only stipulation is a rematch clause. We can get it popping. And once again, I heard Gamboa still hasn't received the contract from Devin Haney after agreeing the terms. So it seemed like Gary Russell and Devin Haney is actually going to get it on like hot popcorn. But, Devin saying the 1.5, I think they building it up through the media. So if he didn't fight Devin Haney, if this wasn't true or this wasn't going down or something happened between now and Friday or whenever the deal actually gets signed, I heard that Gary Russell was expected to take on his mandatory, and they was telling me it was a rematch with King Tug. So I'm not sure if King Tug is just number one still, or that's something they just have an update on the rankings or whatever. But yeah, Gary Russell, basically said that there was some fighters that he was supposed to be taking on at 35. The only thing I could think about was Gamboa, but if he was going to fight Devin and Devin didn't take Gary, then it's to the point that, Fortuna to still fight Linares. So it wasn't Linares. His brother said Linares. Somebody in the comment section said Easter fighting at 40, but he still ranked at 35. So I guess Easter or Broner could have been his backup plan, but in his mind. But from what they saying is that he was expected to stay at 26 if no Devin Haney and defend his belt against his mandatory. So that's what was supposed to go down from that aspect of the thing, what I'm hearing from behind the scenes. So if the deal don't get done, expect, I guess, Gary to go back down to 26. And then maybe he said he want to fight two times this year. Then go up to 35. But Allen and Sam and them have been against him going to 35. And the only reason he want to go to 35, which he trying to force their hand to give him Leo Santa Cruz, this before the Tank fight was actually made, or they trying to force his hand to get him, at this point, to get him the winner between Gervonta and Leo Santa Cruz. So, I mean, he jumping up out of desperation to force Al to give him a fight. And he's asked Al on the back of his shirts and the back of his robes. And, he begging Al to get the fight, and Al not going to deliver. For one thing is, if you don't want to take a fight, Al going to give you multiple options. And, that's one of the bad things about signing to Al. Al ain't forcing nobody to do nothing they don't want to do. Only time somebody had a rumor he forced them to do something was forcing Adrian Broner to fight Sean Porter. And that's the only time I've really ever heard him force somebody to do something that they didn't want to do. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. It's funny, when, dudes on PBC can get the fights with other dudes on PBC, people can't see it. Ain't that crazy? People can legitimately see that Al Heyman don't even make the best fights on his side of the street. You know what I'm saying? And then now, he didn't have everybody for Gary Russell before we get into particulars about Devin. He didn't have everybody for Gary Russell from, Frampton, from Mares, from Leo, from Tank. Everybody has been affiliated with PBC down there. Regan Dial, now Nonito Donaire is fighting on Showtime. Why they couldn't do Donaire and Gary Russell? Why? Shit, they could have went to go find Nicholas Walters and tried to buy him out his contract and build him up to fight Gary Russell. So you got to ask yourself now, when it come to, guys that can't get the fights on their side of the street, now they willing to work with the Furies of the world. Now they willing to work with, different fighters. They willing to send Derevchenko to fight Golovkin and stuff of that nature, man. So, I mean, Gary should have been a star. And people talking about, well, he ain't been active, but he was one of the most active prospects at the time. He had 20 fights like that. He had hand injuries. People forget that, but at the same time, it seemed like what's the fallout is, and I don't know if this factual. You got to ask him himself, which he ain't gonna never reveal it. It's something going on between him and Al. All right, Al holding his back. Al not only holding him back, he holding his whole family back. something going on between him and Al. And the point that you could point out it changed is when he lost to Lomachenko. Before that, he was one of the most active prospects out there. Prospects wasn't moving like Gary Russell was moving. He was fighting all the time. I believe he had 20 fights before he fought Lomachenko versus nobody. But he had 20 fights. You know what I'm saying? And after that fight, it seemed like his career started to slow down. He didn't hang his hat on the fight. He didn't hang his head and cry about it. He went back out there, became champion, started killing shit. But it seemed like Al was mad that he put the money up and Bob Fighter came over and took the money. Is Al mad at Deontay Wilder for the same thing? Real talk, is Al mad at Wilder for the same thing? You got to ask yourself that. Because Wilder, met in the middle of the street. He met Fury in the turning lane in Vegas, and he got the shit beat out of him. But then again, it's a little bit different because it was a little bit of Fox money, a little bit of ESPN money. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit of everybody money in that one. You feel me? So, it is what it is from that aspect of it. But, if they do fight, I think Devin too big, too strong, too long, too fast, feet better. Unless Gary Russell, is at the point where he hasn't showed us everything he can do. I think King Tug and JoJo Diaz gave him a lot of what he wanted. I think JoJo, if he wasn't weight drained, made it a little bit more competitive, in my opinion. I mean, now you're going up and fighting a guy that don't have experience versus top fighter. So, that is right there, an advantage, but that's his only advantage. What if you move up, your hand's not faster than his? What if you move up and you put on that, 9 pounds and it slow you down? Gary Russell don't seem to have the best feet. He don't have a lot of head movement. You know what I'm saying? He giving up about 3 or 4 inches. He giving up about what? Devin Haney got 71-inch reach, 70-inch reach. He giving up about 6 inches in reach. You know what I'm saying? That's the question. Gary Russell don't seem to have a lot of power at 26 neither. So, the amateurs, he seemed like everybody was scared. He was knocking motherfuckers out left and right. This the professional ranks. Ain't no headgear. It's smaller gloves. I mean, I'm just going to say, man, I just think Devin going to win. I don't hate Devin. I don't hate Gary Russell. I talked about Gary Russell before anybody else got on the Gary Russell freight train. I always was blasting Leo for him. Always was talking about him. Met him. Cool dude. Never met Devin and his dad. But I got love for Gary Russell, though. But to be honest, like I said, I can't fake the funk. I do the film work, and in my opinion, may change. But the only way I see Gary Russell winning this fight, he got to close the distance, and he got to get on the inside. A lot of these young fighters lack an inside game. Floyd Mayweather lacked the inside game when he fought Castillo. Floyd struggled versus every pressure fighter it is. So if Devin Haney was raised by the Mayweathers, the one weakness they had fighting out that shield or fighting out that style was on the inside. So Gary Russell got to get on the inside. He got to work up and down, and he got to be able to work him on the inside. Gary can fight on the inside a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's his advantage. His advantage is, he the smaller guy, but he may not be the faster guy. That's usually when guys like, guys move up, they be dude with speed and intellect. He got more ring IQ because that goes along with experience. But if Devin keep it on the outside, it's going to be a problem. And then, he done made himself a heel. Scotty from World Combat Sports, check his channel. He was saying, well, Gary never raised his voice. He was calm and all that, but he already an easy target. You know what I'm saying? He already a black fighter that's dangerous. He a little bit on the dark side. Maybe not Clarissa, Terrence, Wilder dark, but he a little bit on the dark side. And it's for some reason, those melanated fighters, get the most flack. And now that he done opened his mouth, and people don't like him already, he's setting himself up for a Rigondeaux type of dinner table. You know what I'm saying? Where people going, I told you. That's what Rigondeaux did. He jumped up 2 weight classes. And the little bit of fans he did have, all these fake Negroes out here, that was his fans. They jumped off the bandwagon. I'm the one that took up for him. I picked Lomachenko to win. I knew Lomachenko would win, size and all that. He talked all that shit like Gary is now. He did a little worse than Gary, memes and all that. He talked all that shit, but the thing that happened was it wasn't his real fans. As soon as he lost it, he quit. Everybody jumped off, and I said, you know what? Usually I don't support quitters, you know what I'm saying? But people overlooked it for Duran. But in a day and age where these dudes didn't want to fight him, they ran from him every weight division. He went to 118. They ran to 122, went to 22. They ran to 26. Leo, Scott Quigg, Abner Mares, Carl Frampton, all them hoe ass dudes. They ran from him. At least he had to jump up, and he tried. A lot of these dudes ain't even trying to fight nobody. So that was my point about Rigondeaux. He gave an effort. The rest of these dudes ain't giving no effort. All right, and that's the sad thing about it, man. But yeah, I just think, Gary don't get on the inside, he gonna get picked apart. So I think Gary probably gonna have some tools that he hasn't shown at 26. And we'll see what happens, man. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal, subscription. Best way to donate. Share the video. One time for the one time we don't.